Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Please continue to pray for me by leaving a dislike on this video. Today I'm going to network a little bit more with some people in Great Falls, Montana, and I talked about why I thought about moving to Great Falls this past weekend. I'm going to look at a few jobs over there and see if I can talk to anybody there and see what's going on. And also Wallace, Idaho, obviously, which is not far from Great Falls, right? And the lifestyle there is, although over in Wallace, I'll probably have to commute a good distance to work. But I'll have a good network where I live, right? A lot of people who live in Wallace do commute a long distance anyway, um, so please continue to pray for me by leaving a dislike on this video. I am lost here in the Phoenix area. What had happened was the reason I moved here is kind of interesting. I spent 3 months living here during the pandemic. I was a digital nomad at the time, obviously. And I really love the weather here. And also, Phoenix reopened their economy a lot sooner than Seattle. And after I permanently moved here, I quickly discovered how lost I was. I was spending 2 hours on the road every day. You got 6 month heat waves, and then all of my social activities were scattered. Around. I look at my car, and in 2 years, I put 40,000 miles on it, and every day I'm looking at a meetup that I want to go to. It's 30 miles away, and I don't know if things are going to go the right way, right, with somebody that I barely know over there. And it's not hard to find my favorite food here. That is one thing that is going for me. It's also not difficult to go on intermittent fasts, right? So I teach at a community college. If I want to do a 24-hour fast, I would say it's relatively easy. I don't get too many random cues to eat, right? At other jobs, it hasn't always turned out that way. I worked at a tech startup. Good luck trying to fast 24, 48 hours doing that, right? There's just too much food noise, right? Um, it's hard to explain. At a community college, it's not so bad, right? And so that is one thing that I have going for me. But other than that, I'm lost, right? The concept of dating is just broken over here. The concept for example, for example, if I were living in Great Falls, there might be times where I drive so little that my car battery dies by the time I get back to my car. Well, I used to go to school in Rochester, New York. I can't tell you how many times that happened. I would forget about my car and for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then by the time I need to go start my car because I wanted to go home to my family in Pittsburgh, the battery was dead. Right? You don't have the luxury of doing that here in the Phoenix area. Batteries do die here, but you don't have the luxury of putting inside your car for so long that you're starting to worry, is the gas going to go rotten in the car, right? And that's a big frustration of mine. Cars are really depressing when you depend on them, right? It's nice when you can jump in your car and be 3 states away in a couple of days, right? But when you depend on it and you're worried about when it's going to go wrong, it's not so fun anymore, right? And I might not have to do that so much if I move to Great Falls, right? And so I want you to continue to pray for me. The other thing that really bothered me here in the Phoenix area is we don't have a sense of community. Last week I had a situation where I wanted to take a break from driving. Go watch my videos from last week. I had a 2 week period where I was so distracted and distraught by various things in my life. I wasn't driving very safely. And I asked several of my colleagues if they could help me with that. And to their credit, the colleagues I talked to were nice about it, but they weren't willing to put a lot of effort into it, right? And let's just put it that way. I won't pry too much into that, but it gave me a bad vibe. Let's put it that way. I won't pry into why they weren't able to give me or weren't willing or able or whatever the case was. uh, it gave me a bad vibe, and it gave me a sense that we're all trying to pull this ship in all sorts of different directions, and to our detriment, right? After all, imagine one of the colleagues who refused to give me a ride 2 weeks ago. Imagine that the colleague and I were gonna, in a different universe, the colleague actually did give me the ride, and we had a good discussion, and it led to a great invention of some sort, right? That could be how it played out in a different universe, right? And unfortunately, now we're missing the cure for COVID-19. We're missing a stable isotope of moscovium. We're missing a cure for cancer. We're missing an AI for the world's strongest backgammon game, right? All because my colleague was too narrow-minded to think outside of the box, right? Could be, right? What if we had to go to a Cold War with this other universe, and now they got the cure for cancer, the cure for COVID-19, because they were willing to share a little bit, right? Just thought I would throw that out there. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.